Hey guys, thank you so much for checking us out on your TAMKO Builders Severe Weather Outlook. I'm Nor'easter Nick. Every single week we use these segments as an opportunity to look at what the week ahead is going to be bringing us in terms of weather. And I also like to expand outward a little bit further, like into the seasonal forecast. I find that extremely interesting. It's difficult to fully wrap your head around, a seasonal forecast, but we give it our best shot. I think we were pretty decent, to be honest, with the winter forecast. We didn't quite expect as much snow as fell, but we knew that there would be some really cold bouts. And truth be told, a lot of that pattern still continues to plague us to this day. And I don't think it's going to fully lift out of here and could actually continue in some fashion right into the summer. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Let's look at our severe weather probabilities over the next couple days. So we've got a pretty potent system coming down from the northwest. It's not really going to impact our weather here in the mid-Atlantic, in South Jersey, and places close by. But out to the west, in areas that have been just plagued with severe weather, through Chicagoland, out through Illinois and Iowa and Nebraska and Missouri, tomorrow is going to be another day where there's going to be isolated severe weather. And I think there's probably going to be a better chance of some bigger boomers down towards Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas as we go into Tuesday. And then Wednesday, that threat is going to be down along the Gulf and through Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi. So it's going to be an active week, a few days in a row, our friends down to the southwest and to the south of our area. So let's look at our Futurecast radar here. You see that system coming down. So this is Tuesday. There's an area of strong thunderstorms that's going to be developing right around the Ozarks. Wednesday, that front comes through the Ohio Valley. On the back end of it, severe weather is going to be seen through Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky and Tennessee. Then you see on Thursday that sinks further to the south, and it's going to end up in Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. It's going to be a pretty big deal down there. Not only are we talking probably tornadic thunderstorms, but torrential downpours. Flash flooding is likely in those areas as well. But for us, that front's just going to be bringing rain on Wednesday. And it looks like the clouds are going to be stabilizing the atmosphere enough where we don't have anything big going on. And there is a chance that we clear out a little bit as we go into Wednesday afternoon. If that's the case, you might fire up the atmosphere a little bit and provoke things for some scattered thunderstorms as the second piece of it comes through in the evening. But it's looking like the clouds are probably going to be winning out at this point. Over the next 7 days, I don't know if you've heard, we've talked about it a lot over the past 6 months, we are in a pretty significant drought. To pick up 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain over the next 7 days, I think that's pretty good. We certainly need more, but we don't need it to all come at once because the ground is so hard. What happens when you have these torrential downpours is it all comes down at once and then it runs off into the drainage systems. You need what's called a stratified rain, so that the rain falling at a steady pace over an extended period of time. So I like to see 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain over a 7-day period because it means that we have multiple opportunities. Looks like down across the deep south is where most of the rain is going to be. Some 2, 3, 4-inch readings down through probably parts of Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. We've been on the cooler side. We have had some bursts of hot air, right? From time to time, we had a week where we got into the 90s, but for the most part, it's been a cool spring. And I think this pattern is going to be the overall rule, not the exception, as we go into your summer season, as El Nino starts to really get its act together. So here's our upper air pattern. This is about 18,000 feet up in the atmosphere, and the numbers or the colors you see here, the blue and the purple, that's indicative of lower atmospheric thickness. And when you get that, it just means that there's low pressure, and usually that equates to cooler and unsettled air. And look where we go. Pretty much all week, the next trough dips down from the north. That's going to start on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Zonal flow down to the south, and I think that now this is how El Nino is probably going to be setting up. Look at the sea surface temperatures. Well above normal, so El Nino is here. La Nina fell apart a couple months ago. Then we were in like a neutral phase. Well, now we are looking at those positive anomalies, and there are some indications that this could be one of the strongest El Ninos on record. Now, a typical El Nino summer looks like this. You've got the hot air in the west, you got a persistent ridging of high pressure, and then somewhere over eastern Canada and sometimes dipping down into the northeast and mid-Atlantic, you get a trough. And I think this means that there's probably going to be an uptick of severe weather because it is summer, and we will for sure see areas of thunderstorms because of the clash of air masses. It will get hot a time or two, or three or four, but it's not going to be an extended period of upper 90s. But you will get those periods of hot air, all right, hot weather for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and then you get a major cold front coming through. And I think that is what's going to lead to an uptick of severe weather in our neck of the woods as we go into probably June and July. That is typically severe weather season for our area. Subtropical jet stream keeps things active and cooler down along the south. Now, here are the El Nino probabilities, and the highest probability of a very strong El Nino settles in September, October, November. Now, that's good news in the hurricane realm. I think that the numbers are probably going to be on the lower side this year. Now, I don't want you to take that and be like, oh, well, we're not going to have a hurricane season, which might be the case, but it only takes one storm to make for a bad season overall. So obviously this is all stuff that we are just speculating at the moment. We'll monitor things and let you know how you need to prepare, but this is what we have on the docket for now. Again, thank you so much for checking us out on your weekly TAMKO Building Products Severe Weather Update.
This is your TAMKO Building Products Severe Weather Update.